All right, welcome to yourlocalnote.com. We got another vidcast. We are live tonight, so appreciate you joining us. And we're hanging with Wooden Hez, and we'll be speaking with them in just a couple minutes. Want to remind you real quickly, we are streaming 24/7, nothing but the best Philadelphia area music, and you can get our free apps at the respective stores. Just download them, go to the store, type in YLN, download it for free, and you can take yourlocalnote.com with you anywhere you go. We're going to go with the first song here from Wooden Hez's album Spew. The song is called Inward Apocalypse. We're going to play that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to the guys from Wooden Hez right here on yourlocalnote.com.
Down.
Okay, the song is called Inward Apocalypse, and it's from the album Spew, and the band is Wooden Hez. And behind the scenes, Ed, I think you were combining two cartoons with Pebble and Pebbles.
Yeah, it was kind of like Yogi Bear made a cameo apparently on the Flintstones. And I'm sorry.
Are both in the Hanna-Barbera universe?
Yes,
well, he just did while we were just here.
Cool. Very good. Okay, the chaos you're joining is Wooden Hez. Guys, thank you so much for coming back.
Hey, RJ.
Thanks. Happy to crosstalk.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, guys, real quickly, for people who have not seen you before, let's go down the line and introduce yourself and what you do for the band. We'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Ed. I play guitar. And sometimes I do. Never mind.
Eric Smash.
I'm Alan. I play bass, and I also talk bass, and I sing soprano.
David Patone, rhythm guitar and sing.
All right, guys, let's talk about the song, and then we'll talk about the band again. Dave, you do most of the songwriting, is that correct?
I write the structure and the lyrics. And
okay, so
put it together.
Let's talk about this song. What is it about? And
you can't really tell them what it's really about.
Yeah,
you can't tell them the original title either.
It was actually N-word as the title.
Oh, thank you for not.
But Alan didn't like that.
My pleasure for stepping in on that.
Yeah, that's.
But it's not to say that it was the N-word. It was N-word was the word that he used.
N-word.
And
it wasn't a person that it characterized. It was just the word. It was about the word.
It was about the word.
It's a political statement.
Okay.
And ultimately, I think one that a lot of people can jive with.
Yeah.
But
especially today with what's going on in Oklahoma University. Did you see that?
I just saw that today.
A fraternity decided it was a good idea to chant the word and tape it.
Yeah, right. Alan petitioned us to change it, and then he testified about it.
I lobbied.
He did.
He got on a box and he testified.
I greased some palms.
Okay.
And then we changed it to Inward.
Inward Apocalypse.
Which I thought also, Inward Apocalypse, that conjures up an image that is just, I think, that actually is a lot more in line with the tortured struggle that Dave writes about.
Unintentional, but incidentally similar.
Appropriate.
Okay.
I guess. So.
It was a compromise.
Very good. And I think it's
Did
a good
you get that,
compromise.
DC?
Yeah.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, get it together, guys.
Very cool.
So that's a little behind the scenes.
All right. Well, that's good to hear. And
I wasn't allowed to talk about that?
What do you mean?
I don't know. No, I said backstory.
I said bastard.
Oh,
no.
He was thinking it. What he said was backstory.
I saved those words for Eric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little nuggets.
Very nice. All right. You've had some additions to the band. Let's talk about that.
Well, Eric Sestero is drumming now. He's been here for a couple months.
About 16 hours.
16 hours? Okay, good. That's
Right.
good, Eric.
And then
Cumulative.
What was there just an opening and you reached out to Eric, or have you known Eric for a while? How did this marriage consummate?
well,
Eric
we had
stalked us.
Go ahead.
We have a relationship with drummers that's similar to, I don't know if you've ever seen the film Spinal Tap.
Yes, I have.
But
Many
exactly.
times.
We have this problem where our drummers,
They don't die.
One did.
in fact,
Oh,
one of them has died, and I didn't even mean to walk into that like that. I apologize for setting you up for that.
Thank you.
But we've really had a revolving door of drummers.
Okay. All right.
And I just so Eric's next in line.
Right. Eric, are you a little
He's
nervous about this?
heir to the throne. Heir to the throne.
No. Honestly, I know Dave for all these guys. I've seen them play. I've worked their shows, done their sound.
So this was an easy.
We were hanging out when Dave and I were hanging out somewheres, and I was ranting on about always being second choice because I go on auditions all the time, and I'll be second place every time.
Right.
And he's like, "You're my number one. Why don't you come play?" And then I was there in a month.
Okay. Very good.
See, now I just learned something.
So it was like that.
So this was an easy.
And I heard the song that they just played.
Right.
Put the headphones on, and I'm like, "This is actually really good. Mm-hmm. I would love to do this." And yeah, I'm stoked.
Very good.
But just to mention, like in memoriam, our first drummer, Tim Stevens, passed away last year.
Oh,
unexpectedly.
Right.
And we had Ed Galong, who was our jam person. He came in and we just played here and there and jammed, and he just took over for a while, and we just put off getting someone. It was like that was a hard thing to go through, and
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
And we were just ready to start recording, so we took time to do that.
Okay.
Ed did the album. Ed Galong did the album.
Right.
did the
He's a great
drums.
drummer too.
And then when we came out with it, we said, well, we should look for a drummer now.
Yeah,
And
let's
then
work
this just
together.
happened serendipity at another radio station we were sitting in,
Yeah.
and Eric was there.
So, I mean, how difficult is it to come in after because he came in after the album was done?
Yeah, it was just released.
Yeah.
How difficult is that for you to learn everything? Or wasn't too bad because you'd listened to them, you were familiar with their music?
It's just a couple hours a day at home, just playing, and just. I think most important is being a good person is easier than being the best drummer in the world.
Okay.
Yep.
And being able to shred, but coming in and knowing that these guys just, we can all break balls, and they're patient with me.
Right.
But I knew within 5 minutes of sitting down, I had goosebumps, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. And it was before he even came. So
Okay.
these two gave me a run around the block.
Okay.
And they didn't really worry about song structure or anything. It was just kind of connect parts
Right.
and see how it goes. Now I'm still learning every time we sit down and play.
Right.
The dynamics, and they don't make me actually.
But you're also like introducing new dynamics too, which is
I don't have
also,
to necessarily copy what's on Spew, but I definitely follow it as a blueprint. And
Okay.
I'm not gonna step over. I'm not gonna leave the boundaries that are set.
No, but you can add
Right.
a little color.
The accents are different.
That's,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's you.
That's all it is.
I mean, the first time after they were running around the block or whatever physical activity they were doing, and I finally came in and got to play with Eric. I mean, there were noticeable things like that I was picking up that were. It's like, oh. Okay, you're going to accent it that way? Fine, then I'm coming down with you on that.
Right.
Or what are you doing with your kick right there? Because that's making me want to do this.
Right.
And so that's the kind of that's the interesting synergy that nothing disparaging to the record or to Ed's drumming or anything, but it certainly does give it a fresh appeal again because I mean. And me for a year, these guys probably a little bit longer, Alan and Dave a little longer, I mean,
Right.
have lived with these songs for close to, 2 years?
Yeah.
So,
Right?
So
Yeah.
how difficult is it to try to put an album together when you're going through some changes in the lineup?
Well, it was a bit of a different process than our first album, and so we really wanted to be able to do it with as much control as possible. We retracked a lot of stuff several times. We had demos, and then we would re-record individual parts until everything was
It
cohesive.
took about 8 months.
Yeah, just lots and lots of tracking.
Every week, focused. We knew what we were doing, but it just took a while.
And we would bring our drummer Ed in for a couple of long drum sessions to crank out the songs and the structures.
Now, Alan, you do most of the recording, is that correct? If I remember
Yes,
correctly,
that is
that's
correct.
basically what you went to school for.
In some respects, yeah,
Okay. So you handle all the recording.
I do.
So with you and Dave, then it's a little bit easier because you two have been together long enough that you know what you're trying to accomplish, and then it's easier to bring in new people and then adjust from there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm running a lot of the technical aspects of it, and so I end up, if I can manage the project, and as long as the project has a head, that makes things 1,000 times easier.
Right.
So Dave was definitely a huge help, and he did actually a lot more of the organizing than I did. I was more engineering in some respects.
Okay.
But
Tracking.
he would make sure that we had he had a big chart with all the parts for all the songs,
Right,
and
right.
so we were going through each thing, and so once we had cobbled together every piece that we needed, we were able to forge it together, edit it into a cohesive album, get our basic mixes down, and then send it off.
Very cool.
The two of them could probably make a record by themselves.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
They don't. Yeah. That's what's cool about them.
But the thing is, it helps to have, and I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it also helps to have different influences and
Yes.
different perspectives, adding different things.
But that's what attractive as an outside source. Being the new guy, I can see who does and how it gets there now.
Right. Okay. Very cool. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play Punk Rock Jack.
It's a great one.
We'll come back, and then we'll talk about it, okay?
Yeah, great.
All right, we're hanging with
Thank you.
the Wooden Hez, and we're basically playing a couple songs off their album Spew, and we're going to play Punk Rock Jack right now, and we'll come back and we'll talk about it. It's yourlocalnote.com.
Punk rock Jack, he left his bed. He was ready for more moonshine. Better see you with my dear. From his eyes as they glazed ahead. Jackie wrote the walls. The words rhyme with revival. Better I tell you with my dear. From the walls as they described him. They described again. Jackie plucked his grave. He was grooming one last live show. Better to prove to you, my dear. From his life he fell step away. Step away.
And the song is called Punk Rock Jack from the album Spew. The band is Wooden Hez, and this is yourlocalnote.com. And of course, when Wooden Hez is in, it's never a dull moment.
Giggle fest. It's a giggle fest.
Always enjoy talking with these guys.
I'm not talking.
Because you never know what is going to come out. Because the good thing is, I don't think any of you have a filter.
And accused of
I think
prattling.
whatever comes into your head, it just comes out.
Right, so ADHD.
Actually, you
Hashtag no
thing.
filter.
Yeah, because I know.
Hashtag no filter. All right, Dave, let's talk about the song Punk Rock Jack. What is that about?
This is interesting. When our first album came out, the reviews were calling it punk.
Right.
And I don't really think of that music as punk. I think back to the 80s because I'm a little, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a little older than these
Just
guys.
a little bit. Yeah.
That
So
gives you away.
thinking about what a punker would be like today, and it's kind of like his story 20 years later.
Okay, what would you classify your music as then if you don't think it's quite punk?
Just like, I think it's very original, and I'd say it's like alternative and
There's a little bit of grunge in there,
and
don't you
indie,
think?
and it's got a grunge basis, I think.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
it's a combination of things.
Has anyone taken neo grunge yet?
Neo grunge.
Can we start that up? Or future grunge?
Post-grunge. Post-grunge.
Post grunge.
Post grunge.
Post
Good word.
Post-grunge.
You know the word I'm trying to say.
I'm unaware.
Because we all know Sony wants to put a handle on it.
All right. Let's talk about the first album and the second album. We talked to you guys after the first album. Approaching the second album, did you take a different approach, or how did you pick the songs that you put on the album? What was the process?
Well, the recording on the first album scared Alan, so I'll let him take this one.
Okay, Alan. What did you do differently from the first to second album?
When the first album we got started on, or was really already in motion with just Dave when I joined the band, and so he brought me a bunch of recordings that were recorded Dave style. So they have lots of interesting quirks to them, and
Is that like Yankee style?
it's similar to Dave. It's Dave style.
Okay.
I don't want to get too muddled up in it, but and so I had to kind of I worked with that material to make our first album, and so it has a very specific aesthetic of being recorded by Dave and mixed and mastered by me, and so the second time around we had more of a harmonious process. Dave still brought all of the song nuggets for us to embellish upon. But once the songs were down, we were together recording all of the things.
Okay, so it was more of a band recording than it was the first time.
Yes.
Okay, and was that easier for you to work with?
It was easier. It was more thorough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Alan was like a proud papa on the second one.
Okay.
I think.
But it had like a 70-hour labor beforehand.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The
David,
first one is like a hip way to call it garage tractor, but the more accurate way would be amateur.
Okay.
Like, because I didn't know what I was doing, and then
Okay.
Alan came in the middle, so it's painful to listen to now.
It's not that bad.
I was
I
gonna
listened
say,
to it today
no.
for the first time.
Yeah, painful would not be.
So
a
the
word.
reviewers would say like the songs are good, but I just can't listen to them.
Right.
The songs are good, but I just can't.
But I
listen to
haven't
them.
listened to them.
So we were much happier with this new one because this is like tracked properly. We sent it out to be mixed and mastered. And
So
you
you're
were
happier with this album compared to the last album?
Much happier. Not
What about
perfect,
just with,
but
how
happier.
about just with the songwriting? Do you think your songwriting
It's getting
was
better.
different?
Yeah, it's getting better. Still got
How many songs
ways
did
to
you
go.
have to choose from for this album?
I guess just what we put on, right?
We left a couple off.
No, we left
Oh, we left one off.
we left one off
Okay.
because I was
9
I was
new
being a bitch
songs,
about
and one old one we did, and then we dropped one.
Okay.
was.
So for the most part, it was you had the songs all ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had amassed enough material for a new album,
Okay.
so we cut it there and started getting to work on putting them together.
Okay, a question and this is more of a philosophical question, especially with the industry, the way it's going.
Sweet.
CDs are not selling. We're becoming more of, it's becoming more of a single, industry. CD sales are down probably well over 25% in the last 2 years.
I just sold out of our run in a different
You could say your other band.
lineup.
You could say your other band.
Look,
I'm going to say mine.
the
before
CD
this.
serves its purpose. You hand that, I give you a CD, you're going to have me come to your radio station.
Right, and as far as selling them at your shows,
It's promotion. You
that's
have
good.
to do it.
No, I understand that to a certain
You still
extent.
print 1,000 anymore.
Exactly.
That's the problem sometimes.
Exactly.
You print what you need, and then you get more.
So, but the thing is, do you consider, but with promotions, I mean, do you consider saying, well, why don't we do an EP because it's easier to promote those 4 or 5 songs than doing a whole album because you try to promote 10 or 12 songs, it doesn't happen.
I think we may move to smaller releases in the future. That's something that we talked about before. But I think ahead of time we had a specific kind of release style that we wanted to do, wherein the physical release is free.
Right.
If you find us and we have them on us, you can get a copy.
Okay.
But if you want that shit online, You're gonna pay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But
I think it also says something about, like, from an artistic standpoint. And I don't mean to speak for Dave, but it's about time that somebody does. And that as an artist, I think it's important for Dave to go through the process. I mean, to write a handful of songs and to want to put them out, as fresh as they can feel to the writer, because after you live with something for a year, Dave's already sending us emails. Hey, I'm working on
something
this,
else.
and that's always the process. And one thing that Dave always says that I do kind of believe is that it does. I mean, writing good songs and whatever, and I know that's a subjective term, good songs, but writing good songs is a process, and it does take time. So that when you go through that, you want to get them out there.
And you guys are fortunate where you're recording your own albums and recording your own songs. Not many bands do that. Not many artists do that.
Right.
It gets expensive. And this is one of the things why I bring this topic up, is to get it out there so people can hear how much time and effort you guys put into a song. Not only is it writing, it's the recording. And then it's the mixing down. Then it's the promoting. And it's also the rehearsals that goes with that. I mean, we're talking about a lot of hours. And unfortunately, we have a generation right now that puts zero value on songs. And what they do is say, well, I just get it off the internet for free. And it's a challenge.
Old guy talking here, but I don't think we would be having this discussion about music being devalued and being free online if, in 92, 93, if the RIAA would have actually, instead of investing hundreds of thousands of dollars in litigation fees to take down Napster,
yes,
if they would have been proactive and invested that same amount of money into an online streaming feature equivalent to like beating Apple to market.
Sure.
If they would have put that same amount of money into that, I don't think we'd be having this discussion about music being completely free.
No, there were definitely mistakes done by groups, not only the record groups, but the record industry and radio. They've all made mistakes with the internet. I mean, the internet has really disrupted the music industry, and I look at it as good. Because you always want change.
Oh, yeah.
Change brings about some great stuff. And I think we're in the middle of a transition now. So the thing is, though, as you go through the change, it can be painful. And I think we're in the painful period right now.
Do you think right now would be the equivalent of the Industrial Revolution, but it's the Internet Revolution?
I was thinking westward expansion to the Pacific.
Same difference, though.
Sure.
Like it's still so gray that
exactly
you can
It's
do
the
whatever
Wild
you
West.
want.
It is definitely the Wild West, and this is one of our goals and this is why we do Philadelphia only, is to be a place where people can come and find out the local bands. Because instead of competing with everybody, you're now a Philadelphia band. Oh, I know where I can go. There's one spot I can go. Instead of saying, well, how am I going to try to find Wooden Hez? And then try to track your website down that way. They can listen to us. And they hear the songs being streamed. They hear you guys. Oh, okay, now I can look it up. Yeah. So we sort of want to be the place where people can discover the great music that is here in Philadelphia. And obviously I am biased because I live in the Philly area, but there's a ton of talent here. And
we got voted top 5 scenes to blow up.
Right. And there's
someone's getting signed out of this town this summer.
But you know what?
Well, it's been a long time though.
I don't think you need to be signed anymore.
You don't need any of that nonsense. You can do it all yourself.
And this is where we want to continue. This is why I bring up topics like this,
right?
So we can talk about it and get different things. I mean, a lot of bands just say, you know what, we do pay what you think we're worth online, and then you charge people on site. You guys are doing it a little bit differently, so I want to see. I'm interested to see how you guys go.
I'm certain if Dave could get the zoning clearances to rent a hot air balloon or a helicopter and fly over Center City and drop CDs out so that people would have them, he would do it. Because I do applaud the burn it on a disc, give it away for free, type of thing.
You know,
Because
can I
it
tell-
has become a business card.
This is an idea I had, was to make like 10,000 CDs and pile them all on South Street at an intersection like at 4 a.m. so it stops traffic, and there's just all these CDs and they have to move them all.
Yeah, I think you'd get a ticket though.
I know, but it might be worth it.
Okay.
What are they going to do? Ticket the CDs, man?
Like a dumping ticket?
You
Like
get-
for
yeah,
dumping?
Yeah, dumping, probably. They'd get you for something.
So it's like
There's
20 cents a CD.
There's a law for everything.
Okay, so we launder the labor.
But someone would listen to it, one person out of the
absolutely.
10,000 CDs.
And you know,
No,
we'll
I-
probably get written up somewhere we wouldn't got otherwise.
Exactly.
Ooh, publicity stuff.
That's what you got to do.
Exactly. I'm not saying don't do it.
I also want to play on a rooftop on South Street. I haven't been able to talk anyone into doing that yet.
It's about a 5th.
Okay, we'll work on that.
So,
Like Johnny Rocket.
So on Market and 4th tomorrow morning, when there are 10,000 CDs in the middle of the intersection corrupting traffic, you'll
Right.
know what we did.
It would take
when
a
we
whole
left.
day to move them.
And after you guys are done, you're signing a release form, releasing us of any problems. I don't want to have the
We will
authority.
be signing release forms after the show. If you have anybody wants to come by, we're signing any release forms you got.
All right. Let's go to song number 3 that we're playing tonight, and we'll come back and talk about it. Song is called Portrait. It's off the album Spew, and the band we're hanging with is Wooden Hez
Gutsy call.
on yourlocalnote.com. All right, the song is called Portrait from the album Spew. The band is Wooden Hez, and we're hanging with them. And, I think we should record between the songs, too, because I think that's as interesting as the conversation we're having right now. But Dave, we'll start with you. Portrait, what is this about?
This was just a basic structure that I wrote on the acoustic guitar, and then Alan kind of took it and ran with it and produced it,
Okay.
and added a bunch of parts and made it
A little more
like
orchestral.
stereophonic, and I really like it.
It's a trippy song.
We had 2 songs like this on the album.
But it's a portrait about me. So
It's a portrait about you.
yeah, I really write stuff about me personally. So it's like
Okay.
autobiography.
All right. Well, we had that. We also have Old Skin. Isn't that something about you, too?
I don't write anything
That's
about
rude.
me.
Wait a second.
Below the waist.
I was just... oh, wow. Just giving you a hard time, Dave.
I didn't catch it.
Okay, not a problem.
I'm about
okay.
3 seconds behind. half of the delay time.
So portrait is something you wanted to write about yourself. Is that something because you don't like to write about yourself? Is that
no, it's not. Yeah, it's something I don't like to. I just write about what I think about it. Ideas. I'm like more of a philosophical person.
Right,
so
right. So
if it happens to reflect on us, it's incidental.
was this something that were you in a good mood when you were writing about yourself?
I don't remember.
Or were you angry with yourself?
I'm not sure.
You're not
I
sure?
think it just sounded good,
Okay.
so I went with it.
And you went with it. Okay.
I thought it was a real. It had all those ethereal qualities to it, and I liked it. I mean, I didn't even realize it was a personal song, but you know, the line "Little Buckaroo, merci beaucoup." I was like, that's a rhyme you don't hear every
My
day.
grandpa used to call me Little Buckaroo
Oh,
when I was an
see,
infant or a little
See,
tot.
now we're drawing it out of him. Yeah.
Get your notebooks out, Hez feds.
Let me have a sip of his beer.
Little Buckaroo.
Yeah, I never
Okay.
tell them what songs are about. They don't ask.
They don't. Okay, you guys don't. You just listen to it and say,
We're-
"Okay, let's just go."
I don't really tell
can
anyone
tell.
usually. I tell you because you're so gracious. But that's it.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. I know you guys got a video out of Punk Rock Jack. Let's talk a little bit about that. What
I spearheaded that one because
what's the
I
concept
do film
behind
as
that?
well. So
Behind the video.
it's
Was there a
I
concept?
brought in Roberto Chavez to do the to be Punk Rock Jack because he's kind of like a larger than life
Oh, he is larger.
Latin
Yes.
hot Latin heartthrob from Chile.
Do him.
Okay.
Oh, I would do him.
Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I just did like before we got here.
I just did him.
Yeah, I did.
I just did him.
Yeah, he's got that
Fuck, we're going to
sweet.
a hockey game tomorrow.
He's got that sweeter end. You know, he's
geez,
awesome.
Okay, guys. He's a huge hockey fan.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But he's willing to take on anything that's interesting. So that's why we threw him out there, and it was a lot of fun. And
He's fearless. Absolutely fearless.
it's one of the only songs that's kind of like a story. I don't know why the idea came up. It was just let's do it, and then we just ran with it. But it took a while. It took like 3 days of shooting, and then a good while to edit.
I got a good story about Roberto. He after playing at Dave & Buster's, I was leaving the parking lot and he happened to be there, and he stops me and I'm talking to him, and then a car comes up behind and starts to sit there, and he looks at the car and it's a woman, and he goes, just don't worry about that bitch, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to because that's my wife.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's really good.
He never told me that one.
Oh, he was great. He was great. He looked at me. I'm like, I'm not kidding. And he
got in the car with you, didn't he?
Yeah, he got in the car a little bit. We talked a little bit and then went off. But he's
Godfather, I'm so heartfully sorry.
he's a trip.
But a lot of people came together. It was probably a dozen to make that happen. It wouldn't have happened without all the the actors that were in it. I had a cinematographer, a cameraman.
Okay.
Someone else brought the equipment,
How much
the lighting, and all that.
How much more difficult do you find putting that together compared to a song or an album?
It's much harder
Okay.
because of all those people and the moving parts and scheduling and all that stuff.
Okay. Very cool.
With us, we're in control, And when we have a conflict, Alan just yells at me, and I squeamishly say, "Okay."
We've got a process.
There's
So-
the process, Alan.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Love that. So any shows coming up?
Eric, you just booked. Where's that at?
Oh yeah.
What's the name of the place?
Yeah, we're gonna do. There's this bar in New Jersey that's racist, and we're doing a protest against their bar at another bar.
Okay.
Oh, good. I'm really glad that sentence turned around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. I was going to say. All right.
Man.
So here's the deal. I was thrown out of a bar 2 weeks ago, 20 minutes before my set started.
Oh, I didn't know.
We drew over 50 people. The bouncer threw me out because I was thanking people on my way out the door with certain dress code violations.
You had a dress code violation?
Yes.
It was called.
A hoodie.
Oh.
So
Gosh.
I was thanking people for paying covers and blah, blah, blah. So I got a call from the bar owner, and the bar owner was like, I want you to do a show at my bar. Money's going to be paid. Just come and play. So I immediately thought of these guys, and we need to start playing.
Right.
So,
Okay. What date is that?
April 18th.
April 18th.
And we're also doing April 8th.
What bar is it?
It's
This is for Eric, man.
it's Harper's Pub.
Everybody on Facebook the night we found out about that, everybody, I don't know who led the charge, but somebody led the charge.
Yeah.
And we all started taking selfies of us wearing our hoodies,
Right.
looking like thugs.
Right.
And just posting them and saying, this is for Eric. Because, I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
It was honestly so stupid.
You want to
was.
take this
what
guy
bar
home
are you
and
playing
pet him.
at?
Harper's.
You're playing at Harper's.
in Clementon.
And that's April 18th?
And it's a free show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone
that-
can come and have a good time.
And then we're doing the open mic feature at Connie's Rick Rack April 8th. Wednesday, April 8th. We'll do 5 songs.
If things go well, I can get these guys into other things, but
Sure.
we still haven't figured out what we want to do.
Got it. Okay, when you do, send us the info so we can promote it.
No problem.
Sure.
Okay, how can people find you, or where can people find your music?
I highly suggest you Google us.
Okay.
It's the easiest way to do it.
We're the only Wooden Hez.
We got to deal with Google. All you got to do is type in Wooden Hez, and you get like a ton of links for us.
Nice.
All the social media sites that come up
Everything?
perfectly. Yep, totally set
But
up.
otherwise, it's woodenhez.com.
Okay.
That also works.
We're on
That
Facebook.
also works. Nice. Very good. Guys, it's been great hanging with you. As
Agreed.
always.
It's always nice being with you.
Yeah, we had, as always, lots of laughs and giggles. And we learned that Dave,
And what did we learn
was,
today, kids?
Dave was called Little Buckaroo when he was a kid. I think that's a good thing to take away. What do you think, Dave?
For you, it is, yeah. Not for me. I shouldn't have shared that. But you never know.
You'll learn the next time. All right, Dave, let's talk about the last song, Old Same Old.
I don't know. It just rocks. It's a rocking song. you
Okay.
know. We like to play it.
Did the music come first with this then? Or do you write the lyrics first? Or
We
is it-
actually we modified it a little while we were recording it, but I usually get the rhythm down first, and then I get the melody, and then I write the words.
Okay, very cool.
Like a potato peeling in hot steam. Is that?
You have to look it up on the tab. Look up the tab on our website.
All
I
right.
started reading some of that.
I got to tell him that
Oh, yeah.
lyrics. He's in the
Lyrics are on
band.
the website too.
I have my own words for his stuff.
I do too. It's like going to Catholic mass and
Like
it's
same
in
old,
Latin.
same old.
Yeah.
There's
And I
one
just-
part where he says something completely different, and I just say, "I'm going to Vegas."
Real astute band members.
It's great. But the more I spend time, the more you're like,
It's,
"Oh, he's actually writing deep stuff."
It's a project where we each kind of have our own version of the lyrics.
Nice.
Dave gets the loudest microphone, so that's the.
See how much respect I get?
I understand, Dave.
Picture him in
I
Elvis
understand.
suit. I'm going to
Vegas. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, guys, thank you again. The album is called Spew, and the band is Wooden Hez. And, of course, we're wrapping things up here. And just before we do that, I want to remind you we're streaming 24/7, and our apps are free. Just go to the respective stores, type them in, YLN, and download it for free, and you can take yourlocalnote.com with you anywhere you go. All right, again, same old from Spew. The album Spew, and the band is Wooden Hez, and this is yourlocalnote.com.